Hey guys, this is Matt with MoPro Gaming, here to talk about the gun empty base formation out of the Cincinnati Bengals playbook. We're going to be going over how to run kind of the concepts of how to run a an empty formation kind of play. So when you're coming out of empty, the one thing you want to worry about is, will you have time to make your throw? So you're spreading everyone out, but will you have time to make the throw? This formation is based on those principles. So first play is smash. So we're up here. So what you want to do in smash is you want to look to the seams first. So if seams are open, you throw them. Then the next read after that is basically, it depends on what you're going for. If you want to attack the middle of the field, your next read is going to be the slant, right? But if you're trying to attack the outside of the field, then your next read is going to be the corner routes. It's going to go to the left side of the field in the corners. So let's just say, so they're playing cover 4 right now, right? So we'll just put them over the top coverage, right? Or hell, you know what? Forget it. Most people play the cloud flats, so we'll just put that there. I personally don't like cloud flats. I prefer the curl flats, but that's another discussion. So first read is the seams. So seams are not open, so just throw the slant. This could be a little bit better. You can get to this read a little sooner if you go ahead and move him over instead, which is, I mean, the John Ross in the seams, that's got to be a nightmare for defenses. So you're over and then put the slot, put Boyd on the slant. So both seams are not open. You just hit that right there. Right. Okay. So one way they can stop that if they're playing cover 4 is, right, to just play underneath, right? So they play underneath, right? Because essentially what they want to do is they want to because the seam, there's no threat of the seam. Like, you've got two guys defending both seams, so there's nothing to worry about. So these guys should pass off the seam routes to the safeties, right? So those you won't be able to throw those, right? I'll just put these guys in contains right now, so that I have some time, right? So I'll just show you. So circle, let's just say circle's not open, right? Triangle's open, but let's get to that read next. So that was just to show you that circle is not going to get open versus cover 4 only if they play underneath, or if they're used or guarding it or whatever, right? So yeah, that's fine. You can move him over. Doesn't matter who you move over. It's just this. You'll get to this read sooner. So in that situation, in the situation where they're passing off the seams, and then they're passing off the seam, right, to the safeties. Basically, they're staying underneath, right? But the seams are not open and the slant's not open. Then my eyes just go over to the smash concept on the left side. So the smash will get open. The smash will get open if, this concept will be open regardless if they're playing cover 4. There's nothing really they can do. So let's just show you. So it's either square. It's either you throw it into square late. So by the time that it's time to throw it, that you've made your other read, square should be like your first read. Like, okay, are they playing over the top on that corner route? If not, right? If not, let me move this guy over. If they're not playing over the top, right? So if they're playing underneath, then this corner route will be like butt naked open. Yeah, do that real quick. So at this position, because by default it has to be a running back, but you can get your wide receiver 2 slot left. Your Cole Beasleys, your Antonio Bryant, your Antonio Browns, Juju, all the Golden Tate, Larry Fitzgerald, guys you want to, and you can even put your number 1 at that position, So right there. So if they at all, that's dead in the water. So this is and if they're blitzing, obviously all the under if they're blitzing, so if they come out and cover 2 blitz, let me just show you something like that. Most likely they're going to have to do something like that to bring cover 2 pressure, right? They're going to be sending. As a matter of fact, let's just do what people like to do nowadays. So let's go. So people like to do this, some kind of outside blitz, right? Right, so they bring him off the edge. Right, so you got, and then he's like sitting in some kind of zone here, like he's like in this gap, kind of like, you know, trying to bait you, right? So then go ahead, do something like this. So if they blitz something like that, right, someone's open immediately. Like you can literally throw both those seam routes like immediately. Defense. Let's see what I can do. Right. Let me set this up real quick. Right. So everyone's probably going to be doing something like that, and they're going to be using 1 or 2 of these guys. So something like that, right? So if they're playing that kind of defense, then you immediately want to look to the seams and then to the slant. So one of them is going to be open like now. So you just throw that real quick. Don't even think too hard about it. Just throw it. I don't know why I just hiked it there. Wow. Yeah. So you can your best slot receiver at the slot position, use that formation sub, and then go ahead and run that. So let's see. So I showed you it's cover 4. Let me just show you what it looks like versus cover 3. The corner route concept is going to be like the corner route is going to get open. Cover 3, cover 4, cover 2. It doesn't really matter. If they play any kind of hard flat on the left side, that corner will be open no matter what. So I'm just going to show you the seam concept versus a cover 3 shell and a cover 2 shell. So in a cover 3 shell, you can, if your tight end if you got any tight end with any amount of skill, right? So let me put Ross in. La Raza. Let me see if I can get underneath and go underneath coverage on this, just so I can demonstrate. You can just throw that. So you can throw it to either of your seam routes. I like especially what's it called? Oh, another thing you can do is you don't even like versus a cover 3. You can also just do something like that. Now this will affect the ability of your slot receiver to get open, because now there's no one really pulling. There's no threat. So what I do actually in this case is, what would I do? I'd probably just bring him on a drag, right? Because I like this angle by Uzoma is actually pretty good in terms of getting an open deep. It's not cover 4, so let me just show you what I'm talking about. Probably make more sense there. There's something about the way the angle of his seam route that makes it easy to cut it off when you throw it. So let's see, do it one more time. Let me just play underneath so it's obvious. All right. So you see that, like it's like he's running like a mini, like a really skinny post, like a really skinny post. I think you can even throw this against cover 4 if you're careful. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. And then if you play underneath, let me see if you can hit this corner out. Can you hit this corner out? Kind of. No, not really. Yeah, I wouldn't throw that. So I would just stick with the original concept. So yeah. Right. And then have him come underneath, drag, slant, in route, doesn't really matter. Alright, and then just show you what that looks like. Jalen Ramsey. But anyway, you guys get the point. You can throw it to the seam routes. You can throw it to the seams if they're really taking away your slant. And cover two, same deal, right? It's probably even worse versus the cover two for the defense. You got guys going to seam. You got the smash route kills cover two. So right, so they're playing cover two. I don't even have to move them over. They're playing cover two. I just dot them up for 5 yards every time, and we just keep moving up the field. Yeah, and then versus man, what will this look like versus man? Well, well, the seam routes immediately probably aren't an option anymore versus man, like they aren't, but you still will have the slant route. Only thing is you've got Jalen Ramsey over there covering that slant, so you might want your best wide receiver actually run, or maybe your second best, or someone who can beat man coverage to run that route. So hopefully you've got 2 receivers, one who can get open in the slot and one who can get open on the outside. So in that situation, you probably want, I'd probably want AJ Green running this. So I'd probably just flip this formation. Probably go reset it. Let's reset it. Oh, no. God damn it. Reset. Sorry. I'll probably edit this video to cut this out. Yeah. So what you want to do? Move him over, right? So just in the case that you get man, you want your man, the guy who can win a man-to-man matchup. You want him in the slot, right? Or you want him on the outside here. So seam routes taken, and you can throw that slant. Yeah, and the other routes don't really get open versus man. I'll just show you in replay. So seam route, he's covered up. This guy, I think this guy is in. Yeah, he's running the seam route, so he's covered up. This is a linebacker on the. So more likely than not, it's not going to be a linebacker. It'll probably be like a safety or something like that. Like you'll have like a safety or a corner on him, so he'll be in press coverage. So then, if he wins, it'll really be dependent on his route running ability. So let's see if I can show that to you. Tyler Boyd. Yeah, actually, this is good. This is what I wanted. So let's go ahead and move him, right? So this is the matchup I wanted versus man. So let's see. Just throw it. Yeah, you can throw it on his break. But if that corner is any good, so number 25, DJ Hayden, he got cut by the Raiders. That should tell you everything you need to know about that guy as a cornerback. Yeah, so I'll just show you one more time that. Yeah, you could. Okay, next play is going to be curl flats. So what you want to do with the curl flats is you want to either put Green on a slant, right? Or you want to put him on a curl, come back, depending on what you want to attack. So if you want to attack the middle of the field while also, so the idea here is we're looking to overload the right side of the field with, but we want to do it with short routes. So what we want to do is we're going to read the curl flat. If the curl, just high-low, it's a simple high-low. You read the flat. If the flat's not open, then throw the curl. Then if the curl's not open, that means most likely another linebacker is someone else is in that vicinity and stopping that read. In that case, you're going to throw Uzoma on the little stick route. You can even make it a hitch so that it's even more obvious where he's going to be landing. It's going to put a bigger stress on the defense so they can't just run over and cover this. So let me just show you what, let's just run through the play. Let's run through the play. So I'll go ahead and put on the slant, right? So cover 4, they're playing this kind of cover 4, right? They play curl flats, right? Or screw it, no one plays curl flats except for me. So cloud flats. Let's go ahead and run that, right? That's money all day. Money in the bank. You can, I believe, something like that. Let's see, do something like that. That should be their next move. Let's see, that covers it up. Yeah. If they do that, right, that means that you've got your stick route open, right? So if they go ahead and they do that, right? If they go ahead and do that, then you just hit the stick route right there. Easy. In order to ensure that so it might be a user defender like right here. So he might go ahead, right? You might go ahead and do something like that, and then user here, right? So he's usering over here, right? So in order to make his journey a little bit farther, instead of putting him on that stop, what they call spot route, they're gonna put him on a hitch, right? So he can't overreact to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in a hook curl on this side, just to simulate. So his user's right there. So he knows that he's put a purple, a curl flat zone and a hard flat on the right side of the field. So he knows he needs to hit the middle of the field is basically his responsibility. So he's gonna kind of do that. In that case, you're gonna be able to hit square coming over. That's gonna open up, and you just hit him with this thing right there. And then their next move is going to be, so their next move would be to what? So let's say instead of this, maybe play cover 3, right? Maybe put him in the hard flat. Put him in a hook curl, right? So then, so if I go like this, right? So everything's covered up on the right side. Everything's covered up on the left side, right? Nope. Now we're gonna go ahead and do that. So if their adjustment is to have basically they have 4-on-3 on the right side. Then you've got basically 1-on-2, so you can play a high-low game with this guy over here now. So. And maybe he's like waiting for you to maybe he's done this and now he's the user here and he's trying to user guard maybe the curl or something, like the slant coming over, right? So what you can now do is you can now run this play, right? Actually, let's even go back to, we still haven't explored everything we can do here. So what you can do now next, you can run this kind of thing. So high-low read. So if he runs with that seam, then slant's open. That. Right. And not to mention he's not going to have a spy on the field. So now you can really you can scramble, you can buy time in the pocket, not worry about a spy. It's a 3-man rush. So go ahead and let's just pretend that he's really focused on that slant. Like he doesn't care about this seam route. Make him care. Yeah, we're gonna make him care. Thanks, because EA has decided to listen to the community and decided to break zone coverage so that these defenders don't actually come up and react to the ball anymore. I mean, yeah, it's just sometimes I really hate how people overreact in this community. Like if they can't handle, if it's too hard to play offense, then they complain. If it's too hard to play defense, they complain. You know, it's like no one's ever happy. They can't just like be like, you know, last year I think zone defense was finally fixed. Now they broke it again, but they made up for it with introducing quarters coverage. I'll give them that. I can at least say that much. So you go ahead and move this guy over, right? And we can play that high-low game, right? Another thing we can do, right? If they start really like, so this is what I would call just like basically shifting their coverage. Like this is like max coverage defense, right? So and their defense is designed to cover the right side of the field. Like basically there's nothing's open on the right side of the field, so you just abandon that side and we're going to play a high-low game over here. We can even go ahead and put him on a dig, right? If we know this is like how he's playing, like if we know that okay he's over committing to the left side, we can go ahead and just start playing with the right side. So it's going to be, you're going to read the curl. Oh God. So got him on a comeback, right? So curl flat, right? So no, not shit. Yeah. If they start overcommitting to the right side of the field like that, then we just start to pick on them on the left side. Let me move this guy over. I don't know why he came all the way over like that. Okay. So you see that curl flat go up like that, then you just throw it to the flat. And then this works even if they play man. So this concept isn't the greatest in the world if they play man. So if they play man, this comeback is also, the slant is a good option, or the comeback is a good option if they play man. So I mean, yeah, you can throw that curl. So what I would do versus man is I'd probably leave him. I'd probably go either like this, and I've already. I think everyone knows how a slant is going to win. A slant will win versus man press, man off most of the time. So you can have him on that slant to beat man, or you can have that route right there. That can work too if they're not expecting it. So let's go man defense one more time. Yeah, one more time. And we can even motion this guy over so that he has more room to do stuff to get to the flat. Yeah. Oh no, let's just do verticals. So versus cover 4, you don't want to run verticals. I don't think it's even worth your trouble to try and run verticals versus cover 4. Because your only read is going to be this underneath route, and most likely the user is going to cover this up. So versus cover 8, and not, because you see how this one, he's gonna run straight. Literally, he's just gonna take off. There's gonna be no. So you want to kind of put them on fades to help increase the separation. So this is versus cover 3. Let's go ahead and do that, and then instead he's gonna be kind of. We're just gonna assume he's gonna be watching or even to simulate that he's going to stay shallow, we just put him in spy, because that's kind of how some users react. They kind of stay like shallow as spy level. Thank you. Finally, make a catch. So if they're not like on that seam route, then yeah, it's there in a cover 3. And not to mention if they user this guy in a cover 3, not this guy. If they try to maybe cover the slant with this guy, obviously, I think we all know what's going to happen if they do that. But let's just show you anyways. Alright, so if they go ahead and do that, that's going to leave X wide open. I don't think I need to throw that. That's most people, I think most Madden players know that. Most Madden players know that you have X open. And then, let's see. Yeah, so that's cover 4. That's what you do versus cover 4. Now, if you want to, you can still have, you know what, actually I like it more like this. Right, so another thing you can do, move this guy over, put him on a drag, so you can have a high level side of the field. So now take this guy and start, like, you know, playing the middle of the field, which some Madden players think that they can't, they'll think you won't want to throw the outside, so they might try to take the drag and stuff like that. So, you know, so that you have at least that option, right? If they play hard flats, then he's open. If they don't, then the flat is open, right? You want to have that at least in your arsenal. And if they play cover 2, then they don't really have, and it's not good for them either, right? Same thing applies. Go like this. You can throw that. Cover 2, then you just stick with the concept of trying to attack the seams. And if they play man, I'll just show you what it looks like if they play man. Verticals. Put them on slant. You can even put them on drag. So if they play man defense, you can just run a comeback. So come on. You can run 2 comebacks. You just have 2 comebacks on the field. 2 comebacks. And then you've also still got X. So if you've got the right matchup, you can make that play, but this tight end is not very good. So you can go ahead and you just run 2 comebacks. So you're just gonna need time. Oh, come on, man. To the next play. And the last play in this formation is the inside cross. So what I like to do is simply just do this. So versus cover 4, more likely than not. So basically now you're gonna flood the middle of the field. So before you were flooding the right side and the left side of the field, like the outsides of the field, right? So with curl flats, we were attacking the right side of the field or the left side of the field. With verticals, we were, with smash, we were doing the same thing. We were attacking the seams. Now with inside cross, we're going to attack kind of the intermediate middle of the field. So we're not going to be attacking the seams so much as we are attacking field. So if they play cover 4, this is like the perfect play call for this. So if they are defending both drags, so I don't need to tell you guys about drags. You guys probably know about drags by now. So if they are playing both drags, right? You've got that going, right? Right. So in order to defend drags, they have to have flats out there. Like they have to have hard flats out there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So simply just putting him on a slant, right, so that you've got basically somebody running high. The slant is kind of acting like the high route, right? So these drags are kind of like near the line of scrimmage, whereas the slant is getting close to that 10-yard, 7 to 10-yard area. So just depending on where the user goes. So if the user stays, well, if the user covers either of the drags, then if the user covers either of the drags, then the slant is going to be open, like right now. Like you can literally just wait for it. If they're blitzing, there's no blitz they can throw at you that would be able to cover all three of these routes simultaneously, unless they started manning up people. So inside cross, and they probably do something like that, right? So if they do anything like that, you got R1. Just gotta throw it. Just throw R1. The slant's not open, you throw the post. So if the post is not open, then I'm not sure what to say. It probably one of the guys underneath is open. So you just gotta use your eyes. And if they are overplaying the drags, so say the slant and the drags are not open, then the comeback must be open, because that means they're playing hard flats, which means that the comeback now is open. So in this case, you just throw slant, right? So if they play both drags, then you've got the slant. They play the slant and the drags. Inside cross. They play both, right? So say they've taken away the drags, they've taken away the slant, then you've got the comeback, because now you've got the high-low. I'm not gonna even, like, you've got that. So let's just go ahead and inside cross, playing underneath, right? Okay. I'll make this throw. Yeah, buddy. Okay, cool. And then if they play cover 4, that post is not going to be there. If they play cover 3, though, it will be there. It will be an option for you. So inside cross. If they're focused on any of the stuff going on underneath, so if they're focused on the slant route here. If you've got a good enough receiver, so let me go ahead and flip this, and then we've got, let's go cover 2. Let's go ahead and run this type of cover 2. So if they're playing cover 3, then that's going to be there for you, because the safeties don't react in this game, so you can literally just throw in front of them all day. And the same thing with cover 2. So if they play cover 2, it's actually even worse. So not if. Cover 2. Let me see if I can just put this guy on X or something. Cover 2. Alright, okay. I think you get the idea. Cover 2, that post is going to attack the middle of the field, and then man defense. Obviously, you're going to have the comeback. You're gonna have the drags, the slant. Everything's going to be open versus man defense. So this is a pretty good play you can run versus man as well. You're going to have the slant. I'll just show you in replay without throwing them. You're going to have, so versus man, you're going to have the comeback. You're going to have the slant, possibly the drags. So if you've got the right speed mismatch, so here, for some reason, Uzomo got really good separation, so you'll have him possibly, and then last but not least, you'll have this post. If it's not Jalen, if you have the right matchup. So I'll show you with AJ Green what that post looks like on man versus man coverage. 2-man. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's flip it. I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Yeah, I know I can't sing, but I don't care. Show you what it looks like. Come on, AJ, get open. AJ boy ain't shit. Oh my god, I can't believe AJ just boxed his ass up. Terrible. It's just annoying. I swear to God. Sometimes. He's still getting boxed. But yeah, you see the post can get separation. So that should be your that post should always be your last read because it takes a while to develop. You should focus on the underneath stuff happening. So those are all the play, and then obviously you've got the screen. So if they're zone blitzing you, right? So especially with this kind of defense, right? So what they'll want to do sometimes is do a lot of this, right? So if you don't want to hit them with any of those passing plays and you just want like some really easy yards versus a zone blitz like this, you can just throw the screen. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why the guy reacted like that. That was weird. Usually it's alright. Any kind of zone blitz. I wouldn't go to this too much because it's not the greatest play in the world, but it's... Oh my god, what? So if that guy blitzes, his first move is actually to go outside. That's interesting. That is interesting. But let's just say regular cover 2, let's put him in a zone. It's like this, I could just throw it to one of the seams, one of my plays that I have. So I'd go to the smash and then just start hitting them in the seams. But if they decide that they want to play this kind of defense and then they're like, okay, I'm going to just stop your screen game, this won't work either, right? So you think maybe putting someone in the hard flat will stop the screen? It won't. The only way it'll work is if the tight end can't make a block, which he should. I mean, come on, Uzo. Like, come on. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So maybe this is a good play to run on like maybe 3rd and long if they're gonna like have their. I wouldn't run this on 3rd and short per se because most likely they're gonna have someone on a hard flat. But 3rd and long, I would run this because the guy's running the curl flat is gonna be retreating deep, and if they're sending any kind of pressure at you, this is what NFL teams do. They like to run screens on 3rd and long, right? And then you can just get more yards for the punt, or you can make it 4th and manageable. So that's another option. So, and also if they want to do coverage, not that. Say they want to go ahead and blitz you out of a cover 2 defense, right? So something like this. Something like this. Right, and then Uzoma, the tight end. Somebody please go make a block. Please make a block. Yeah, so you just get good yards after the catch if they're blitzing you like that. So that's everything out of the gun empty base formation in the Bengals playbook. Thanks for watching.